Hello and welcome. You're watching Bloomberg Quint Live. Let's take a look at how the markets have fared through the course of the week and what they have done today. I'm going to start off with today's job trade. Some strength returning to Indian markets with a gain of as much as 0.1%, with Z Entertainment, Vedanta, UPL and Yes Bank advancing. And among the heavier cap names, we have the OMCs along with ONGC also keeping the markets buoyant today. We don't have too much in terms of losses, but IndusInd Bank and ITC along with ICICI Bank do stand out in trade. But the positive momentum is here for you to see, at least on an intraday basis. Broader markets, the Nifty 500, we have Sterlite Technologies, a sharp 13% up move. NBCC India looking at a recovery, as is the case for Vodafone India, and Network 18 also up as much as 12%. On the losing end, CG Power once again, and Info Edge losing out quite substantially. Investors selling partially, as was the case for Edelweiss and PNC Infratech. So some weakness there as well as far as the broader markets are concerned on an intraday basis. But what about the week? What have we seen through the course of the week? A very volatile one too. A 2% decline for the Nifty. Had it not been for today's up move, it could have been worse. And we do have Maruti Suzuki, which is seeing advance of around 5%, with Tech Mahindra, TCS, Infosys and HCL Technologies among the top gainers. So clearly it's the rupee and the rupee-backed stocks which are actually advancing in trade today. The exporters doing well through the course of the week. Yes Bank, on the other hand, continuing this decline along with Indiabulls Housing Finance and IndusInd Bank. Tata Motors also really under pressure through the course of the week. What about the broader markets? And well, a little more underperformance coming through. While we do have strength in Hathway Cables and Shankara Building Products along with Coffee Day Enterprises, which landed up eventually selling a part of its real estate, which is why we saw that up move. We've had significant losses in names such as CG Power, Reliance Capital, Vakrangi, Edelweiss and Yes Bank. So, not short of volatility when it comes to the broader markets. That said, let's take a look at what moved the markets this week. First up, on Tuesday, August 20th, India's mission to the moon, Chandrayaan-2, entered the lunar orbit, a key milestone that may make the nation the first to reach the unexplored part of the Earth's satellite. On Wednesday, August 21st, SEBI announced measures at its periodic board meet, which including easing of requirements for FPIs and also tweaking buyback norms, among others. Trouble mounted for NMDC as Karnataka government withdrew the approval to extend the mining lease for Donimalai and decided to auction the block. However, on August 22nd, the Mines Tribunal stayed Karnataka government's order. And finally, the RBI's Monetary Policy Committee released the minutes of its August meeting explaining that the 35 basis points cut in the interest rates, whereas the Federal Reserve's minutes of its July meeting showed a divided Federal Reserve, casting a doubt on further rate cuts. So, there very well could be a little more volatility in store. That said, let's take a look at how we have panned out this week and where we go through the next week based on the kind of levels that the options market is indicating to us for the Nifty. So for now, we do have maximum open interest in the 11,000 call on the higher end, and on the lower end 10,700 put. So it's a very narrow 300-point range that we're expecting the Nifty to move within through the course of the next week, but you never know, this may change. It's as far as the levels are concerned. There are a bunch of other events too that we can keep an eye on as we move into trade next week. And while it may not directly mean anything for trade, we do know that the Supreme Court will hear PC Chidambaram's plea, and that's a developing story. So we will have a lot more coming through that. But perhaps more importantly, we will get a confirmation of whether or not and how deep is this slowdown that we've all been talking about, because the Q1 GDP data will be out in August. That's the Friday the 30th. Moreover, we will also have the fiscal deficit data, so that should also give us a fair idea of how the economy is panning out and what that could mean for, well, the government and perhaps the kind of steps it can take. So it is certainly going to be another very important week as far as we move into markets. But on that note, it's a wrap. But there's lots more lined up. Stay tuned to Bloomberg Quint, and we'll keep bringing you more.